Hello children, good morning. How are you doing? I hope you are doing good. So today we are going to learn a small topic which you are experiencing in your daily life. You might have seen many objects are moving around you, such as living things and non-living things. Of course, say for example a bus, a motor vehicle. It is a non-living thing, but it is moving, right? So you might have seen some ants which are moving in your house, and birds are flying, vehicles are moving, and you and me and your parents and your friends, relatives, they will move from one place to another place. They will not be stable or constant to that particular position, right? So what is this phenomenon called as? This phenomenon is called as motion. So how can we say that a body is in a motion? How can we say that? Simple example. See here, there is a tree, and beside of this tree, a person who is standing at a position called A. Isn't it? There is a tree and a boy or a person who is standing beside this tree at a position called A. Now, after a certain time interval, he just moved from position A to position B. What did you observe? Did you see any change here? Yes, of course. The boy was at a position called A, and after a certain time interval, he just moved to position B. Here, assume that there is a house, isn't it? There is a house. Now, how can we say that? The boy was at a tree, beside this tree at a position A, and after a certain time he was at a position B, where beside of this boy there is a house. That means what? If this boy is said to be in a motion, or else he moved or he displaced from one position, one place to another place. So how can we say that? What is the proof? Here is a small proof, that is beside of his there is a tree, but here there is a house or a hut. So according to the definition of a motion is a common experience in our life, right? Yes, many objects are moving and we are moving, everybody is moving according to the time. So how can we say that an object is said to be in motion if it is changing its position, or in other words it is a place? So many objects are moving. Of course we are going to deal in this chapter. So before we get into this topic, I would like to give a small information about the types of motion. What are the types of motion? The first one is translatory motion, second one is rotatory motion, and third one is oscillatory motion. You might have seen the different objects will move in different these positions. Say for example rotatory motion. First example, I would like to give a small example. Say for example ant. This is a common experience in your daily life. Ant, how it moves? Ant will move straight, linear motion. It's nothing but translatory motion. And rotatory motion, observe your fan once, how it is moving round and round and round. That means it is in a rotatory motion. And oscillatory motion, you might have the experience of swing when you have gone to school ground as well as public gardens. Okay, you might have this experience, right? So playing with the swing. So how a swing moves? It is the motion of to and fro motion. That means it moves front and back to a fixed point. That means it comes under the category called oscillatory motion. Is it okay? So once again, there are three types of motion. The first one is translatory, it's nothing but straight motion. Second one, that is rotatory motion, in other words, round, the motion around something. So the third one is oscillatory motion, nothing but to and fro motion. There are so many examples. Say for example, a boy or a person who is rowing a boat, called as in a translatory motion, isn't it? Fan is an example, the best example. Motion of the fan is nothing but a rotatory motion. And the third one is oscillatory. Just now I told you, a motion of a swing, or else sewing machine, how the needle moves, it is also back and forth, to and fro motion. So these are all the basic types of motion. But all these motions, again there is another classification, there is another differentiation is there. That is mainly there are two types. This classification is again undergoes two types. They are, the first one is uniform motion and non-uniform motion. What is that? Uniform motion and non-uniform motion. So what is uniform motion and what are the examples we are going to see, and what is non-uniform motion and what are the examples under the non-uniform motion. So first we will learn about the uniform motion. See, if a body covers, okay, before I give you the definition, I'll give you a small example of a train or a bus. For example, a bus. Say at a distance, say for example, a t is equals to 0. T here, it is stands for time at 0 seconds. Okay. Now it is moving from here, from position A, and it has been reached to position B. Okay. And it covered the distance of, say for example, 10 kilometers. Assume that 10 kilometers, and the time it took, it is 5 minutes. In 5 minutes it covered the 10 kilometers distance, and after reaching this point, again it started moving from B to C. So the distance between B and C is again 10 kilometers, and the same time it took 5 minutes. And from C to D, can we predict? Yes. So again this bus, if it is covering the 10 kilometers, 10 more kilometers within 5 minutes. Now observe here, the time as well as the distance are same. What is that? Time and the distances are same. That means when an object or a body or a vehicle or a person who covers the equal distances in equal interval of time, then that body or that object is said to be in a uniform motion. I'll give you once again the clarity. When a body or an object covers the equal distances in equal interval of time, then that body is said to be in a uniform motion. That means it is covering the equal distances in equal interval of time. I think so. You got a small idea about the non-uniform motion. Uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Non-uniform motion is opposite to the uniform motion, in other words. So what is that? Go on. So when a body, if it is covering unequal distances in different time intervals. Say for example, I will give you the example for the uniform motion. Hands in your wall clock. Hands in your wall clock, the needles, in other words. So what happens? It covers equal distances in equal interval of time. Am I right? Yes. So that is an example of uniform motion. Whereas non-uniform motion is nothing but if a body covers unequal distances in an equal interval of time, or else even some equal interval of time, then it comes under the category called as non-uniform motion. So you may have many examples. For example, if you are going to market with your father on a bike. So your father will not cover the equal time. Of course, he may took 30 minutes, but the traveling distances may be from point to point, it is different. Say for example, from your house, he may start with the speed of something and he covers the distances of 5 kilometers, but the same time will not be taken to cover the next distance. So that is the best example, non-uniform motion. Of course, so while you are going to your school daily, you are taking different times and different of course distances. You may stop somewhere else and you may run fastly sometimes, isn't it? So that is an example of non-uniform motion. I will give you once again the recall of types of motion. It is, first thing is uniform motion and non-uniform motion. That means different objects move with the different objects will be in a uniform motion and non-uniform motion. The objects are the bodies which are said to be in uniform motion if they covers the equal distances in equal interval of time. Example is hands in your wall clock. And non-uniform motion, if the body covers unequal distances in an equal interval of time, then it is called as non-uniform motion. That means the body is said to be in a non-uniform motion. So that's all for today's class, and I will give you the complete details and examples for the translatory, rotatory and oscillatory motion in your coming classes. Thank you, and refer the textbooks, and you have a online PDF. Okay, you can search and please go through with the textbook and think about the different examples for the topic which we have discussed today. Thank you.